for upcoming meetings. Her name is Aisling, and you might know her because she's part of the NET team, one of the specialist nurses. And I'm sure some of you, when you phone and you leave a message, she's one of the lovely nurses that come back to you. And come here, let's get you properly introduced in the meeting. How are you, Aisling?
I'm okay, thanks. It's lovely to be here.
So yes, this is gonna be like helping in the next meetings again. And yeah, I just want to introduce you in front of all of you.
So you all have my email address now. If there's anything that you want to discuss or if you've got any ideas, please just let me know and I'll do my best to accommodate everyone, okay? Yeah.
Thank you, Aisling. Stay here, come with me. Yeah, I also wanted to, some of you might have heard that there was a mail issue from the invitation that I sent for this meeting like a month ago. So yeah, I wanted to apologize. You know, like I put the email address into the CC instead of the blind CC, and some of you pointed it out that is considered like a breach of confidentiality. All of you have been very kind, and all of you have understand, you know, that that's a human error, you know. But we also realize that that's a mistake that it would be. It's a mistake that could happen again, you know. So it's something that, although we put some measures in preventing that, sometimes, you know, these things could happen. Yeah. But thank you so much. And now it's been sorted, it's been reported, and it's been not escalated into, you know, like a big thing, but just like a human error. But thank you so much for your understanding. Then another thing is, like, I wanted for this meeting to have the next newsletter ready, but I haven't been able to finish it completely. But just to give you like a little bit of a preview of what is coming, in the next newsletter, it's going to be like a whole interview with Professor Kaplan, because it's been 20 years since he set up the neuroendocrine unit at the Royal Free. So he's opened his you know, like his office, his heart, you know, and he's just sharing his views about these 20 years of looking after patients like yourself. And also, you know that there's been some really big issues with funding for the radio-targeted therapy. Some of you might have it, some of you were about to have it, and that was like postponed or canceled. So in the newsletter, we went through what has been happening in order for this funding to be withdrawn, the issues with Cancer Drug Fund, the issues with the commissioners, you know, which hospitals are providing it, which hospitals aren't, and what is the future for this treatment. So, you know, like when the newsletter comes out, you can ask for one copy when you come for consultation, or we can email you the electronic copy for your interest. Then also wanted to say that the next meeting, it's going to be on the 9th of June. And it's also going to be my last meeting, because I'm moving back to Spain. So yeah, I really want you to come for that meeting. You know, it would be really nice, you know, to see you all after all this time doing these meetings for you. And yeah, it's been like my pleasure, like being here. And then finally, Lorraine wanted to make an announcement. So if you want to come here as well.
Right, okay. Last August, I went to a meeting in Leamington Spa. It was actually a free lunch rather than a meeting, funded by the NET Patient Foundation, because I'd sort of come along to these meetings. Jorge couldn't go, so he said, did I want to go? And at that, it was funded for people who are running NATA groups, NET NATA groups, which you might have seen on the NET Patient Foundation website. And it was fascinating to see these groups that are being run by patients and their carers and how much people are getting out of it. And from that, it occurred to me that we have these meetings at the Royal Free, but we don't have a NATA group, which is entirely for patients. And there's lots of things that you sort of think, well, what are you going to talk about? But talking to these people, you realise that people who've just been diagnosed are told that these groups exist, that they can come along, talk to people who have been through various treatments, or just talk about problems with families or whatever it might be. It's a very sort of patient-orientated discussion to trying to help people. So at the 10th of November, when 5 of us actually, 3 of us are here today, ran the stall at Bart's about the Net World Cancer Day or whatever it was, to give information. The what?
Net Awareness Day.
That's it, Net Awareness Day, handing out leaflets. The 5 of us thought it would be a very good idea to start up a London-based Net Natter group. Now, a lot of you might come from out of London, and you might want to think about doing this where you come from if you can get hold of anyone else that's got net cancers. But what we've decided to do is actually to try and set it up, and Bridget, who's asked all the dietitian questions, has volunteered her house in Hackney for the first meeting, which we've set for February the 2nd at 6 o'clock in the evening. And if you, on your forms, which I'm going to collect, if you think you'd like to come or just want to know more about it in terms of the address and everything and when it might be, you don't have to commit yourself now, then I will send you the address if you put your email address on the form and say, yes, interested in coming. Now, she says she can cope with quite a few people, but we have been told by the Net Patient Foundation that really, for health and safety reasons, we shouldn't use that as a regular base, but they will give some funding to find a room somewhere or something like that. But to get it started, we thought we'd just ignore the health and safety reasons and go to Bridget's and see whether anything develops from that. And it was interesting because the 5 of us just talking on that day, from myself who's diagnosed a long time ago through to people who've been diagnosed more recently, just to actually, it was just good to share information and find out different people's concerns. And it's so different from this sort of group or when you go and see your consultants and such like. So it'd be lovely if anybody wants to come along. 3 of us will definitely be there, and hopefully the other 2 as well. And so as I say, put your email address on there and say, would like some more information. Is that okay?
Thank you, Lorraine.
Okay.
Thank you.
And you know...
No one can hear you. No one can hear you.
And if you know anybody else who might like to come, then they could perhaps, I don't know, email you.
Yeah.
And he can...
Or Ashley, yeah.
You turned it
I
off.
turned it off. No, it's on.
Ah, right. Well, if you know anybody else, you can mention it to them, and then they could email Jorge or just...
Or Ashley.
Or Aisling, or speak to one of the nurses who might know, in the clinic and ask to either contact me or you know how to get hold of me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then we can give them the details. Is that okay?
Thank you.
So it's in Hackney, and apparently you can park there.
Can you go? You have to keep this distance from the face.
Okay.
Parking is easy from 6:30, but if people arrive, then I have vouchers that they could have. But it's also quite good for public transport.
And one other thing, it's not just patients, it's also their relatives or anyone like that are very welcome to come along too.
Great.
And when Jorge leaves, maybe we can discuss maybe incorporating doing some here as part of the support group, whatever, something to talk about. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Well, and now this is the end of the meeting. Thank you so much, all of you, for coming. It was been a great pleasure to see you here. I hope you enjoyed the talks, and I look forward to see you in the next one. We're going to be around for a little while if you have any questions or you want to discuss anything any further. And yeah, thank you again for being here. This meeting would not be possible without you. Thank you.